Well, welcome to another edition of Camp Dolphins All Access. We'll call this the off day edition, unplanned off day. I'm Mike Cugno, that's Steve Goldstein. Goldie, we just spoke with head coach Mike McDaniel about the stomach bug going around the Dolphins facility. They're being really cautious. They don't want to get the Eagles sick. They don't want to get more players sick. And of course, we got to hear Goldie on Saturday. You got to have the game. What was your biggest takeaway about how cautious the Dolphins are being with this?
Yeah, well, first of all, we apologize. It's Camp Dolphins somewhat access since we're outside. We have no access. And it's pretty funny, McDaniel calling it stomach bug gate. Just add the gate after it. So, they got that medical team, and they got half a dozen doctors, half a dozen trainers. And unfortunately for all of us and everybody, what we've dealt with COVID the last 2.5 years, they kind of have this protocol now. So something starts popping up, hey, let's just shut it down. I know McDaniel said he was looking forward to the practice today, joint practice, but they'll just have to take it easy and see who's ready for Saturday night. Yeah,
this would have been their last practice of training camp. Now it's moved virtually. You might hear some music in the background. That's actually the Eagles still going through their practice. They are okay. Sounds like they didn't get caught up in all this, which is a good thing. Okay, but let's move forward to the game. What does this mean? Yes, there is a game still going to happen Saturday here, 7 o'clock on CBS 4 with this guy calling it. But how does this affect who plays?
Yeah, well, it's a great question, and guys that maybe they wanted to sit or guys that they wanted to see, they may not be able to do either. Some guys they wanted to sit may have to play if guys aren't healthy, and some guys they wanted to see maybe won't be healthy. Now, we don't know how bad these guys are. You still have, 48 hours until the game is going to be played, even more. So it's kind of the wild, wild west now of we have no idea. Number one, we don't know who has it.
Right.
Number two, we don't know how many. And number three, we don't know how bad. So this may be something that comes down to maybe even Saturday morning or midday on Saturday to see what's going on.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel said he was heading into the facility today about to make an announcement about who was going to play and who wasn't. That's something he doesn't normally do, but the world told him, hey, now you have to reassess. So that's not going to happen. We probably weren't going to see the starters anyway, but for you, what do you think the big position battle still going into the final preseason game we're going to be? Because McDaniel said, hey, there's still jobs up for grabs.
Right, and that's the interesting thing. So you don't have the joint practice today, which coaches put a ton of stock into these joint practices because you can design whatever you want. So, hey, if I want to see Mike Cugno on the D-line against a 3rd and 1, I can set that up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get that during a game. So they don't get that going into the game, and now you may have some guys that don't play in the game.
Right.
So you got to make a roster decision by Tuesday afternoon, and you may not have another look at these guys. So you may just have to go on that whole body of work. I think it makes it pretty fascinating that there may not be a last impression, intentionally. Last impression may have been yesterday for some of these guys. I think the 5 guys are set at wide receiver. The big 3, Waddle, Hill, and Wilson.
Yep.
I think Sherfield's on the team. I think Ezekam is on the team. Yeah. So maybe one more spot at receiver. Running back, you got Mostert. You have Chase Edmonds. And then I think there's a big separation, to be honest with you, to that 3rd guy, assuming they keep 3 plus a fullback. So that's a battle that's still there. And, of course, in the secondary, you got a battle going on there as well. So there's some spots. And then, hey, how about that pass rushing spot? Out of nowhere, a guy people may not know much of, Porter Gustin, has had a great training camp, really good games. Does this guy make it? Is he one of the guys that has the stomach bug and maybe doesn't play Saturday? So it adds another layer of decision-making these guys have to make.
Yeah, and on that note of pass rushers, Andrew Van Ginkel, he's out for an appendix issue. It sounds like he's going to be all right, but to that point, you don't know how long he's going to be out. Doesn't seem like a serious injury, but you might have to go into the season, maybe week 1, without him. Not saying that's the case, but just another wrinkle, as you mentioned, into all of this. So it should be interesting now to see what happens, but certainly Saturday's preseason game takes on a whole new flavor. This isn't just a meaningless one, just get it out of the way. The Dolphins have a lot of work to do because of this, so we'll see what happens. Once again, for another edition of Camp All Access from outside the facility today.
How's your stomach, buddy? You okay?
I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm fine. How are you doing? Are you okay? We need you on Saturday.
I'll let you know later.
Yeah, you stay healthy. Go get hydrated. Go lay down. Stay away from the building. For Steve Goldstein, I'm Mike Cugno. Thanks again for joining us.